Hey friends, happy Thursday. It's been a few weeks since I've done my Thursday video, so I wanted to make sure to get in here and chat with you this week to talk about something that I think is super important. I think all of my messages are super important, let's be honest, right? So I am super excited to chat with you. If you are here live, please say hello in the comments. Feel free to like, share, tag your friends, all that good stuff. But today I want to, hey Meeks! Oh my goodness, I haven't talked to you in forever. Send me a message, let me know how you're doing. So I want to talk about this message, this thing that came up a couple weeks ago for me. And it really made a huge impact. And it came from, I listen to podcasts all the time. And there was a statement in this particular podcast that really, really hit home. And I think that it is a theme and the thing that separates the people that end up doing this kind of work, right? Self-improvement kind of work, and those that choose not to or don't think that they want it or need it, right? And that's not to say that, you have to hire a coach necessarily, but there's something about this statement that just like it was like the clouds parted and this statement really, really stood out when I was listening to this podcast a few weeks ago. And the statement was simply this. The woman was talking about like this really rough time in her life when she wanted to change her life and was like making these big decisions. And she said, if I was going to bet on anyone, I chose to bet on myself. Like if I knew that I was willing to, she was actually talking about a business that she created. She said, I knew that if I was willing to bet on myself, I couldn't lose. If I was willing to go all in and bet on me, I wasn't going to lose. And there was something so powerful about that statement because while she didn't know how to create the business that she was ultimately going to create, she didn't know all the bits and pieces that were involved. She didn't know what she didn't know, right? She didn't know all the steps along the way. What she did know was that if she was willing to bet on herself, if she was willing to put in the time, the energy, the effort, the money to get behind herself, to support herself, to teach herself, to grow herself and this business, that she would win. And by win, I mean she would be successful. She would create this thing that she wanted. And that is everything when it comes to mindset, when it comes to creating the changes that you want to create. Now, that doesn't mean, and I say this often because I think it's important, that doesn't mean that you feel that all the time. That doesn't mean that you feel capable and over the top, like ready to do these things that you want to do, right? Maybe you don't feel ready, but you're willing to get behind yourself. You're willing to bet on you, right? And let's look at the opposite of this. Not being willing to bet on you means you don't trust yourself. It means you maybe trust other people more than you trust your ability to be, have, and do the things that you want to be, have, and do. You are more invested, you are more trusting in someone else's ability to take care of you or to lead you or to show you than you are to trust yourself to make the decisions to do, learn, grow, evolve, expand, do all those things, right? And I see this so often when I am having conversations with people, to be quite frank, that maybe aren't the best people for me to work with, like people who may be interested in this work, but they're not exactly all that, they're not my people. And what tends to happen is I get these, questions of like, how can I know for sure that you can help me? How do I know for sure to take this leap? And the thing is that you can't know for sure 100%, but if you can bet on yourself, if you are willing to get behind yourself, to invest the time, money, energy, focus in you, and you know what you want on the other side, and you're willing to do what it takes, whatever that means for you, then you can't lose. You can't lose. And I was having this conversation, like I had this thought process in my mind. And when I listened to this podcast that inspired this post, it was actually probably a month and a half ago. And it was around the time that I was like thinking of making some changes in my business and, doing some work with my own coach, and just a lot of things were happening at once. And it was such a powerful message that reminded me why I do what I do. My job is not to have you trust me completely. My job is to help you trust you. My job is to help you and to come in concert with you toward the same mission, the same goal, the same desire, right? So like we're a team working to help you get to that place. But at the end of the day, I want you to trust you. And if you ever have a consultation with me, or you ever have a chat with me, you will hear me say, I'm not here to pressure you to do anything. I will invite you. I will recommend certain things. But I want you to ultimately trust you. And the truth is, most of us haven't been taught how to do that. We don't know what is our voice versus someone else's voice. We don't know what is our knowing and our truth and our intuition versus what someone else thinks we should do, right? I've had multiple conversations this week with clients who are talking about the shoulds. Should I do this or should I do that? I feel shame. I feel judgment, like I'm not supposed to be doing this. How do I know if it's right, right? And that doesn't come from a place of self-trust or self-belief or being willing to bet on yourself when it comes to that thing that you want to do. No one can do that thing for you. I can't do that thing for you. But one thing I stand by wholeheartedly, 100% with every single client I work with, is that I can help you get to the place in your mindset, in your energy, and in your consistent action in order to make that happen. I will be the person, again, to be your teammate, your facilitator, helping you to get where you want to go. And this week alone, the leaps and bounds that my clients are, embarking upon, the steps that they are taking. I have one woman who has gone from this idea of this sort of nebulous idea of a potential thing that she was interested in before we started working together to now she's walking the walk, right? Like she's taken that idea, put it into action, and is now creating her first offer to create this business because she was willing to bet on herself. I have another client who just sent off an email that she's been sitting on for weeks. But it's ultimately an idea that she's been sitting on for years for a book proposal. Happened this week, right? Because she changed how she was thinking and she was willing to bet on herself. And this isn't a promotion and saying like, you have to work with me in order to bet on yourself. You don't have to. But if you feel called to, that is one way to do it, right? But what I want to stress to you and I want to invite you to do is to ask yourself, what areas of your life are you shrinking and pulling back and going, oh, I'm not ready for that. I'm not quite there yet. It's not the right time, right? I have to wait for X, Y, and Z to happen first. I have to have all these things, more information, more steps. One of the conversations I had with a client this week, we were talking about this particular homework assignment because you get homework when you work with me. And she said, I couldn't get myself to go there. Like my brain was all over the place. And we were talking about it. And I said, okay, well, what is it that you think you need in order to take that step? Like what we were talking about. She gave me the longest list of items that she needed in her mind, right, to get complete in order to be ready to do that thing. And she even said, I know that my long list is just another way for me to procrastinate. It's just another way for me to step into perfection. It's just another way for me to get in my own way. Like, I know that, and I need your help getting out of that. But the reality is, most of us don't realize that. Most of us don't know that we're making this big long list of all the things that need to happen first before we can get to that thing. And it's just getting in our own way. And a lot of those things that we're putting on the list have very little to do with us. They're outside of our control. But the singular thing that is always in your control is you betting on you. And what that looks like is believing in you, thinking thoughts that support you, sometimes, taking action that shows you that you're betting on you. And that might be, working with a mentor, signing up for a workout program, writing that book, submitting that email, having a consultation, whatever that is. But it means you're not waiting for that right time. You're deciding that now is the moment. And as, I've been having conversations with people recently, I've been hearing more and more, I just decided to put all that stuff that I was waiting for on the back burner. And I decided to go all in on me. And friends, that's what's going to change this world. That's what's going to change your life. We have to all individually, right, take responsibility and ownership of what we want to do. And we have to be willing to get behind ourselves. And this work, the stuff that you're thinking, the thoughts that you're thinking, the beliefs that you hold, the things that are going through your mind that you may not even realize are going through your mind, are all critical components to getting behind yourself, to supporting yourself, to betting on yourself and that thing that you want to do. You'll see me say this quite often, and I say it often in my videos. I say it on Facebook, which is that thing that you've been thinking about doing. You need to go do that thing. That thing that you can't stop thinking about, you need to go do that thing. There is something in that that's not just for you, but it's for the world. And I know that sounds crazy. To some people, it's the whole airy-fairy, like woo-woo stuff. But I am 100% certain that if that thing keeps coming up, that thing that you can't stop thinking about, that desire that you've had for years, it is time for you to do that thing. It's time for you to bet on you. Get out of your head about all the reasons that it's not going to work. Get out of your head about why it's not the right time, why the economy is, falling apart and no one's going to do whatever for your business. Like, this isn't about any of that. It's time. So, my message for you today is for you to simply bet on yourself. What does that look like for you? And I guarantee if you are hearing this message, if you're watching this video, wherever you are in the world, wherever on the internet you have seen this, there is something that you're sitting on. There is something that is like really resonating in your mind. It might be flashing in your mind like a yellow, blinking light. Like, this is the thing. It's time to bet on you. It's time for you to do that thing. And if you want support, of course, it's here, but you can always take that first step, right? Meek says, amazing things happen when you take that step. I'm a prime example. Yes. 100,000% yes. And here's another thing that I want to say. I saw a message recently. It was a video. And I think it was actually a promotion, kind of a promotion for another coach. But it was a video of this woman saying, all of the investments, all the things that she's done to get to where she is. And she said every single time she started before she thought she was ready. And she was talking specifically about her business and financial investments and that kind of thing. That doesn't have to be the case in this example for you, but maybe it is, right? But starting before you think you're ready, starting before all those lists of things are ready, starting before you have all the people, you have all the information, like there is no limit. We have so much information. You could research for years and never do the thing, right? You could research, you could gather information, you could think that you are doing a lot to prepare for that thing, whatever it is, to prepare for the business, to prepare for the book, to prepare for marriage or parenthood or whatever. But I guarantee the best way to learn is to begin right now. Bet on yourself. Yes. Meeg says, oh Lord, yes, I had to become comfortable with knowing I would be consistently uncomfortable. Yeah. And Meegs, I know that for sure, right? So what are you waiting for? And that is not like the hypothetical, pressurized question. That's a real question. What are you waiting for? What piece of the puzzle do you think has to fall into place first in order for you to take that step? Right? What is that for you? It's time. This message, if you're watching it, means it's time for you to take that step. Now, I'm going to give you an opportunity, an option, if you will, to take a step if you're ready, right? If you would like to explore what this work can do for you, then let's have a conversation. And like I said, there's no pressure because I'm not here to convince you to do anything. I'm here to help you trust yourself. But if this message is speaking to you, if you don't know what starting before you're ready means, if you don't know how to do that, if you need support and guidance and someone who is a teammate with you working toward that thing and helping you remember who you are and helping you tap into the brilliance of who you are, then let's talk about it. Okay? Because this work will change your life 100%. Now, here's the deal. I will be taking time off in the next couple of months to, birth a human. And I am filling up my last 4 one-on-one sessions, my last 4 spots to work with me one-on-one that will carry you through that time frame before then, right? So I have 4 spots open right now to work with me one-on-one in my 4-month program. This program will change your life. It will bring more clarity. It will bring more trust in yourself. It will bring more belief, more confidence. And virtually every single client I've worked with has said in some way, shape, or form that this work has transformed their lives, that the results were better than they ever imagined possible. When they came into this experience, they thought they would get one thing and they got something even better. So if that's something that resonates, that you're interested in, I'm going to pop a link in the comments to book your consultation with me. Now, some things are changing in my business starting July 1st. Rates are going up, that kind of thing. So if this is something you're curious about, I'd love to chat with you. Okay, so I'm going to include that information below. Meegs, I know that you understand because we've been through this, right? We have worked together. We have done the things. Meeg says, definitely have the conversation. I'm so glad I did all those years ago. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely, yes. So if you're interested, if you're ready to get behind yourself, do the thing, take a bet on you and go all in on that thing that you really want to do that has been calling to you, then I'm going to pop a link in the comments. Let's have a conversation. Right? Let's talk about what this can do for you and see if we're a good fit to work together. Okay. I will be back on Monday with another mindset tip, but I really hope that this message lands for you and that it touches you and it really gets you thinking about why are you waiting? Because the reality is time is going to continue. Time will pass, things will happen, life will unfold. And the only thing that we really regret are not doing the things, that were important to us. So this is an opportunity. If this speaks to you, please reach out. I'm going to post the link below. Make sure that you sign up, chat with me. Let's talk about it. And in the meantime, if you have questions, right, let me know. If you're watching the replay, if you have questions or comments, feel free to include those in the comments below. And yeah, I hope that this was helpful for you. So have a great, great rest of your week and weekend. And I will chat with you again on Monday. All right? Yes, we both grew, Meigs. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right, friends, have a great rest of your day and the rest of your week, and I will chat with you soon. Bye.